We're doing a little small little post E3 Sony conference. Because we were having so many technical difficulties during the live stream or whatever, so we're just gonna do a little recap.
But y'all already know what's up. Cause y'all was watching this shit.
I was able to get the link up to what we were watching, so
so y'all seen all them blessings. That
all those blessings.
Oh my god,
blessings after blessings. What was that Big Sean shit called?
Blessings.
I feel blessed.
I feel blessed.
For real.
Another song Drake was on.
Yeah.
Blackface.
With Kanye.
Kanye face.
Yeah. Oh, ooh. Ew. And just when you wear that face, you just get super arrogant and cocky, and you thank you God, and you marry a bitch with a fake ass that wasn't a real porn star that can't suck dick to save her life.
Oh, damn. Wow. Okay.
She couldn't shit.
Well, he's halfway there.
Well, I never actually saw like the whole video.
We watched that shit in school.
You know what? That's very true. The Ray J, that was a press conference in itself.
What not to do?
You walk up in there and motherfuckers be like, "You seen that Ray J Kim Kardashian shit?
Nigga, pull this shit up on me."
You know.
That was back in the days when motherfuckers was gonna get on Rotten.com and all that other shit.
Yeah.
I remember Rotten.com too. Goddamn.
Oh, yeah. See, so we're gonna change the subject. we don't need that type of attention.
So,
no. So E3 the PlayStation. So I mean, I think what we could do real quick, since there has been a few press conferences prior to the Sony press conference. Bullshit. Yeah. And that's why we could just make it real short. Okay.
Microsoft.
You know. Now, I will say this: at the end of the day, you know, me being a gamer, being for a short time an Xbox fanboy, I had a 360. You know what I'm saying? I was fucking with that shit.
Only reason I had a 360 was because when the PlayStation 3 first came out, it was
$700,000.
The thing about it is, it really kind of allows you to kind of think back, because Sony announced, you know, PlayStation 3 at E3, whenever the fuck that was. And it was truly iconic when they made the price announcements for the PS3, because they were like $5.99, and you heard people in the audience be like,
You can also get this other one for $6.99.
Right. But it had a Blu-ray player.
That's your nothing.
Right.
You know when they say $6.99, fuck you.
Hey, look, you heard somebody, hey, how much was that?
And it's funny because when you think back on it, like, that allowed 360 to get some momentum, Xbox to get some momentum, you know what I'm saying?
And they still failed.
But no, this is how they fucked up, because at E3 a few years later, when they announced Xbox One, and I always bring this shit up because I feel like this was really the Achilles heel for Microsoft. When they announced Xbox One initially at E3,
they did the same thing.
No, it wasn't even that. It wasn't even the price thing. It was the fact that they said that with the Xbox One, the only way that you could play games on it is that you had to be online. So you had to have internet connection to play the system. That was required. And then they were also like, you cannot play used games. There's like all the games would have like some kind of little lock and shit, so you couldn't use share games.
And that's why PlayStation came out with the whole thing. This is how you share games.
And you see it. Comparing this to Sony. Sony was
that was like the next day.
The next day. It was the next day. They got on it immediately, and that gave Sony the momentum they need to build right back up, and that fucked up. I mean, I honestly feel like that was what really kind of threw Microsoft and Xbox, you know, out the window again and shit. You know what I'm saying? They got too cocky. You know, you can't get too cocky out here. So anyway, so now, you know, Microsoft has been trying to, I don't know, recoup, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Trying to figure out, you know, how to get back in. So they had a conference.
It wasn't a bad system.
But it was funny because Microsoft actually made smart moves with buying certain companies, like when they bought Rare.
Oh, yeah.
That was a smart move. Buying Ninja Theory was a smart move.
And I mean, the thing about it is, to me, what sold the 360, what allowed 360 to kind of have, like, its shine, is the fact that even to this day, I feel like Xbox Live, like the online community that it has, it's still to me like top tier. You know what I'm saying? Like Xbox Live to me changed how we played like games online. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. On a lot of levels. You know what I'm saying? Like everything from, you know, voice chat, to achievements, to creating your own little meme character and shit. Like, Xbox was kind of ahead of its time with Xbox Live, but once
you know
again...
what, though? To speak to that, though, PlayStation 2 kind of dabbled in that because I remember playing Call of Duty on Xbox. On PlayStation 2.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like the beginning of the whole multiplayer online.
Well,
Xbox got that shit.
That I got into.
Because I'm about to talk about some Fantasy Star Online on the Dreamcast back in 2000. Yeah. That literally took a...
I didn't know shit about online play.
Man, it was trash because you had to do dial-up and shit, you know what I'm saying? People calling the home and shit, you know what I'm saying? I was like 16, 17 at the time, so my mom was like, what the fuck you doing? What is all that? All that shit.
Used to hate that shit. I'll be all upstairs on AOL chatting like a motherfucker.
Right.
I need to use the phone. My mama got to use the phone.
But yeah, at the end of the day, Microsoft had their press conference yesterday. It was a conference. Yeah.
It was definitely a conference.
It was
definitely people there.
There were definitely people there.
Class.
I mean, I'll say this. Like, I can kind of understand the direction Microsoft is trying to go in, and I understand the challenges they're dealing with, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, really, what they really showed, the highlights of the conference, I mean, we can talk about this real quick. They showed off quite a few titles that were multi-platform titles, but they were able to kind of debut, some of these games, first, So we had Devil May Cry 5, you know what I'm saying? People been waiting for it.
And if you notice, Sony damn near didn't show none of those games.
Oh, none. No.
Bitch,
That show was Kingdom Hearts.
No, and then they showed a new trailer on that.
The Kojima.
That's exclusive. That's exclusive.
Yeah. That's the thing. Also, a big thing with the PlayStation conference, damn near every game they showed was a Sony exclusive.
Oh, yeah. And that's how it's crazy because I remember once upon a time, like,
that's
during
how it's supposed to be.
The Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo era, or the N64, PlayStation 1 era and shit, it was all about, like, you had your console exclusives and shit. Yeah. And then we start getting into the whole third party joint. And I feel like that really started to kind of happen, like, during the whole 360 era, 360 PlayStation 3 era, you start seeing a lot of games become multi-platform, which is cool or whatever. It gives everybody a fair chance to play a lot of these games. Yeah. But at the end of the day, though, these exclusives, though, those are the system sellers.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's what pulls you saying, like, you know what? Because at the end of the day, I guess when you think about it, it's like when you going out and you purchasing the system, you want to be able to say, like, okay, I'm getting the system because it's going to have games that I can experience I can't experience anywhere else.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And the fucked up thing about it is when you look back at the Xbox conference, the only exclusive games they really showed was the shit we were talking about with Lil Fox.
The Lil Fox, Tunic.
Fucking Gears of War 5, and Halo. And
that's the thing. And I said this shit earlier. I'm like,
that's it.
Even though, I've enjoyed Gears of War, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't really fuck with Halo like that.
The last one was like short as shit.
Yeah.
It was fun.
But my whole question is that, like, are those games still system sellers? Because I'll say you this, like,
Halo always.
I'm tired.
Really?
But I'm tired of Halo.
I'm done with Halo. Master Chief, I'm like, this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
But it's hardcore.
And I feel like also, like, because people, you can say the same thing about Nintendo. Like, like they drop a Mario, they drop a Zelda, they drop a Metroid, and then people are like, we always get Mario, we always get Zelda games.
They do something new with them.
They do something new with them. And I feel like Mario, Zelda, like Metroid, whatever, these titles, these franchises are far more iconic because they have the history, they have the legacy, the quality level, you know what I'm saying? Not saying Halo and Gears of War.
I'm about to say Halo is... You gotta give it to it.
Yeah, give it to her.
What's called it?
But I don't think on a global scale you can compare Halo to Zelda. The thing.
It hasn't evolved.
It's been the same game.
Did they have already Halo game called Halo Evolve? Wasn't it?
That was the first one.
Oh, Halo Evolve.
Yeah, Halo Evolve.
And it hasn't evolved since.
Yeah, it ain't evolved since. Ooh, Halo. Halo 2.
It was like the second.
Halo 3.
But so they showed the world premiere trailer of Devil May Cry 5.
Which was dope.
The world premiere trailer of Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, which was also dope.
That was hot as fuck.
Shadow the Tomb Raider.
Shadow Tomb Raider, a new trailer, Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
Even though Sony was like, no, fuck y'all.
Yeah, like,
a newer trailer.
That's nice. We gonna show y'all Frozen.
Right.
The cute shit.
Right.
We got Pirates of the Caribbean.
They show Tenchu meets Dark Souls. What was that shit called?
Shadow Die Twice.
Yeah, that shit. They showed the Division 2 gameplay.
Yeah.
That shit was actually.
That shit was dope.
Yeah, I was like,
It got me interested.
We was all in the chat talking about this shit. It was interesting. This is Last of Us 2. This is the Division. But like I said, the first Division, after you beat it
was
got
after a while, it was repetitive as shit.
Yeah. But if you had to come on Me, You and Beans play, and that shit used to be. We used to coordinate the shit, be on the mic talking shit. Yeah. Now I need to go over here, and then like that. Yeah. Hopefully the Division 2 will improve on that, on them mistakes.
Yeah.
But see, it was like when the Division came out, that was when, I mean, it still is, but like that was around the time where multiplayer games was like at a peak. So it was like they only focused on the multiplayer,
on the
aspect.
online,
and that's cool, but that's not a broad audience.
Right.
Just like with Call of Duty, like it's some people that play Call of Duty just for the multiplayer. It's some people that play just for zombies. It's some people that play for the campaign. So it's like when you make it a game like that, you got to think about all that. I mean, unless you just want to go for one audience like that.
That was one thing because I heard like Anthem too, which is a Ubisoft. Is that Ubisoft or EA? And BioWare, right? Yeah. They said that's going to be like online multiplayer only.
Yeah, and that's one thing that kind of turned out like fuck.
But you know what though? If that's what you're going for, cool. Advertise it to me as that. Don't let me buy it and then find out that you know what I'm saying. That's all it is. Because that's why I can't to this day. That's why I can't fuck with Assassin's Creed. Because when that shit first came out, when I had an Xbox 360, they advertised that shit as as some action packed. Jumping from building to building, you know, I'm like, ooh,
they
did
get progressively better.
I mean, no, I played since then, and I will agree with that. But it's just something like that whole with that first rollout. It was like they advertised it as some action packed, stealthy type. I was like, oh shit, this about to be the shit. I ran out and bought that shit. And they got you walking up behind motherfuckers trying to pick their pockets. It was like the complete opposite. I mean, yeah, it was some aspects of that, but it wasn't the premise of the game.
Right.
And that completely turned me off to the franchise.
Right. And I feel like that's a big issue with a lot of games now. And I feel like this is what's kind of holding back Microsoft because, you know, Microsoft audience pretty much is rooted in the West. Like it's a lot of, you know, gamers from the United States, you know, whatever, Europe maybe even, who are like still supporting that platform because it's not, you know, it's not selling in Japan, it's not selling in Asia or whatever. And I feel like because of that, they're like, okay, so like, what do like, you know, the typical Western gamer like really get into? And it's like a whole bunch of Call of Duty clones.
Yeah, shoot.
You know, what's that? What I want to call it? Frostbite.
Fortnite. You know what?
Fortnite.
I got
all players on the
they showed that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, let's drop some cars.
But there's a bunch of they doing a bunch of them battle royale games too. But that's the new hype train.
That's the new thing. Just like a few years ago, the what's the name was?
Clash of Clans?
No, how I was saying multiplayer and how the Division focused on that. That's the new craze.
Yeah. So I mean, but I feel like in a way that's kind of holding back Microsoft because, like I said again, when we were doing a little chat and shit during the Microsoft press conference, the game that really stood out to us was Tunic, and that was a game that was completely
total opposite.
Really cool. You know what I'm saying?
I said, I am here for this.
So I feel like that's what Microsoft should focus more so.
But remember, back on the 360, they was more because that's an indie game.
Yeah, it is.
Microsoft, I mean.
Xbox was kind of
big on the indie
they were
shit
big,
at the time. But then PlayStation, because PlayStation, they started rolling out their indie shit.
Right.
And especially with the PlayStation 4, they started focusing a lot more on indie games.
Right.
So, because like you can go on the PlayStation 4 now and find a shit ton of indie games.
So really, at the end of the day, the Microsoft conference just kind of felt like
rehash of days.
Felt like a rehash.
Felt like some Xbox shit.
Yeah.
Like some old half-ass.
It felt like Sierra's career or some shit. Like,
woo!
think she. I just feel like, but I understand that struggle. Like, where do I fit in? Where is my place? Like, how do I? You know.
And that's kind of like what Microsoft doing.
Yeah.
Compared to Sony, they said, "Fuck it, we come out the gate.
Oh yeah,
punching, biting, scratching."
And since Sony's been able to kind of build that momentum and shit, since soon as Microsoft tripped with that whole, you gotta be online, you can't share games, and Sony went into full petty mode, they've been on it since. And they ain't letting up. They're on Microsoft's neck. But
it's like they would do like the whole, like we were pointing out the whole Kingdom Hearts shit. Like, yeah, okay, because at first, bitch, y'all wouldn't even get in this game. Right? We let y'all get this. So we gonna let y'all have y'all little trailer. Oh, it's Frozen. Here comes Elsa running around on shit. That's dope as shit. All right. Showing Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right. Let's do the
all the motherfuckers look like the motherfuckers from Pirates of the Caribbean. So that's literally Johnny Depp and Orlando Bloom.
Right. Like, this is why
let's do this.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Full-on pirate boat fighting. Fuck that Sea of Thieves shit.
That y'all put all this money into.
Yeah, we doing this.
So Microsoft Conference, really the highlights of Microsoft Conference was a whole bunch of multi-platform games, whatever. Square Enix had the conferences was trash. I haven't seen the Ubisoft conference, but I'm assuming it wasn't a whole lot.
No, I think actually the Ubisoft is actually going on now.
Oh, it is.
Bethesda the one that came out
before,
And Bethesda, they had their Fallout and Elder Scrolls, so they
that was pretty much about it. So now to the
like
main.
Rockstar doing a couple. Oh, they're doing another Elder Scrolls for one.
No, you said they had a Fallout.
Yeah, Fallout.
No, Fallout. The game. Yeah. Fallout.
Oh, Fallout.
You was like, these motherfuckers up there.
They had Fallout. I'm like, wait, what?
No. It's just they had Fallout and they had Elder Scrolls.
76, the prequel to the.
Yeah.
So they had them. They had their go-to games. It's like a Rockstar came out of the conference. Oh, they gonna fucking show us Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah. Well, Sony's like, fuck all of that shit.
Yeah.
Sony was like, okay, so. You want to jump in? Right?
They be so petty with me. Like, we've been doing this.
Yeah.
And Microsoft, they just wanted to jump. Oh, we see a money cow, a cash cow, video game industry. Let's jump in.
But the thing
is, like when Apple was talking about jumping in it, they shut that shit down.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, like even though motherfuckers was trying to sit up and say like, no one cares about the Japanese game market or anything like that. Our exclusives are not important, but man, no, it is, because that's Sony's like dark horse. The fact that they're a Japanese company, and they're deeply rooted in Japanese culture, and where Microsoft, they're still trying to kind of pull in Western developers. Like Sony is like globally,
we pulling from Europe,
everywhere. The States. You know what I'm saying? They got that global appeal, so that always kind of gives them the cutting edge. Because, like I said again, Xbox in Japan is like
nothing.
Literally, like you can have a turd in an Xbox, and the Japanese will pick a turd.
You can't get them bitches out.
You cannot. They don't want it. They ain't fucking with it. And the only reason why you see like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy 15 even really go over to Xbox because they know like they still got a little clout in the States.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for that, these still would be Sony exclusive. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like the Sony conference started off with the whole Last of Us 2.
And that's what I'm saying. That was low key their biggest game.
That's why I started off.
And they started out with that first.
Yeah.
So that right there shows you is like, we coming out the games, we're gonna show you our biggest game y'all know of.
Wildin'. Yeah.
And then we're gonna show y'all all these other games we've been building hype for, like Spider-Man. Then we gonna fucking reveal shit that nobody knew.
Not even this.
Like fucking the Resident Evil 2 reveal. That was like.
And it's not just like.
I'm still like low key in my mind screaming like a bitch.
Pregnancy and birth.
Yeah, but I'm like, because that game was such a part of my childhood.
Oh yeah.
That and to see them redo it and it looked that amazing. And it's not just a rehash of the original game. It's its own new take.
It's like they're still, again, staying true to the Resident Evil 2 formula, but like just giving it a whole new fucking experience. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing, and that right there, then that control shit, that shit look like a mind fuck, but I will play the fuck out of that. Spider-Man was fucking amazing.
Right.
The shit they showed from that shit. Ghost of Tsushima. I know I can't say that shit right. That's what I'm calling it. Ghost of Tsushima.
We got
It's Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah. Ghost of Tsushima, okay? I just like saying Tsushima.
I think that
Tsushima. Funny.
But that shit was fucking amazing. The detail in that shit was stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think where Sony really shines.
And then Death Stranding. Oh my god.
Oh, well, that's a whole thing in itself.
Them didn't even show us true gameplay. They showed us Norman Reedus walking for 10 minutes.
And we were hooked. We were sitting there like, oh shit.
Like, why does shit look so beautiful? Jesus Christ.
But you know what? That's another thing too. Like, again, and I say this shit when they were showing the Last of Us 2 trailer and shit. And I've heard a lot of folks, use this argument and shit. I think actually Roger Ebert at one time was one of the first, well not first ones, but one of the folks who was like really vocal on video games can't really be truly considered art. You know what I'm saying?
But it's so many games that came out.
Anything that comes from a creator's mind,
it's art,
and is executed, is art.
It's art. I mean, that's how I look at it. But when you look at
people think it's trash, like some of this trash music.
But here's the thing, like when you look at games like Last of Us 2, Death Stranding, whatever. Like
the indie games, a lot of indie games like Limbo and Journey and all them shits. Them shits was like artful as shit.
Oh yeah,
but still great games.
But I feel like this is where Sony really shines because we were just talking about a Microsoft conference, and there were some dope titles. Most of them were multi-platform, but when we saw the Halos and when we saw the Forzas and when we saw the PUBG shit, I mean, Gears are cool too. But it's like, I think when you're talking about like creating like artistic, creative content, not saying that like you always got to be trying to do something that's like cutting edge and different, but you do kind of got to bring something kind of fresh to the table occasionally. Like all the games we talked about, Death Stranding, Last of Us, Control, the Heroes of Titishima. I ain't gonna call it.
No, it's not Tsushima.
Right.
That's when it comes to, hey,
I'm gonna go to GameStop and scratch out
Titishima. But you look at all those games, man, and like you could just see just the level of craftsmanship and creativity that goes into those games. Like that Death Stranding trailer, there really wasn't shit blowing up, no explosions, none of that. Just walking around. But we were hooked,
My mouth was on the ground like, this is amazing.
Yeah, the whole time. All they was doing is climbing and pulling off toenails and talking to babies that's in like little canisters. Like, baby, wake up! Don't stop these shadows, baby. Look over there is a whole ass shadow man.
Right,
baby. These shadows are taking us.
This is gonna be the Kojima Antonio director's cut. Like that.
Exactly. I'm gonna read that shit, baby.
The name of this episode is
Titty Oh, and in parentheses, baby.
Right. But that's what allows Sony to stand out. Because you look at these games, you're like, man, this is something I've never seen before, or this is something that's like really fresh, or it's something that really kind of gets your mind going. And that's the support. Because like I said, when I was looking at Microsoft conference, man, like, how many games are we going to see where it's just somebody running around with a gun blowing up shit? Like, that's cool.
I didn't even get no like goosebumps watching no Microsoft trailer except for maybe Devil May Cry.
Let's just be real. We just not Microsoft fans.
Well, not even that, because I would give props if shit is great.
So the 10 Xbox fanboys about to jump on this motherfucker.
But with some though, because even though Xbox,
I'm a big dude. I think I can take 10 minutes.
If they came out with some great shit, like I said, because that tuning shit, I'm all for that shit. That's one game. I'm not buying a console for one game.
I'm not paying $300-$400 for 1, 2, 3 games. Like, and I've done that before. I've had an Xbox for fucking
Gears of War, probably.
Not even. I didn't even like Gears. I didn't like the way Gears of War.
You didn't like slamming onto a wall and shit.
No, sir. I don't like it.
No, sir, I don't like it.
I was real SpongeBob horse with it.
No, really different horse.
But no, it was, for me, it was Halo, and it was, what was the other one?
Was it?
No.
Microsoft exclusive? It was exclusive, right?
It was, Killer Instinct. No, Halo and Killer Instinct. That was it.
Yeah.
And I'm not paying $300, $400, $500 for 2 games.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right.
When Sony just literally gave me Every game they showed, except for that dumb shit with the VR with the flower at the end.
I want to say that the Resident Evil 2 remake will probably come to Xbox.
More 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, more likely.
But see, that's the thing. Yeah, they got.
That's like the only one. All the other
thing
things
is
is
not a
strengths.
bad system, but they have no exclusives.
Yeah,
Like,
again, Xbox.
And that's always been my argument with that shit.
Isn't really standing out, man, because like I said again, like I said, where they really fucking up at is that like even if they don't got the Japanese market, like you said again, when it comes to these indie titles or whatever, like really trying to focus on creating or like showcasing titles that kind of stand out from everything else that you fucking see out here. Because like I said again, like I mean, I know Call of Duty got a huge fan base. Like listen, like Eric, you literally was like. Stop everything.
fuck all this technical shit.
They got some new Black Ops, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying?
I
Let's
need
download
that
that shit.
now.
And I know that's huge and shit, but I feel like, again, like, because I consider myself, I grew up gaming. You know what I'm saying? Like, I live, breathe, and eat this shit. And the games that I grew up on, I mean, some of them were, like, generic, but it was a lot of vibrant, colorful, just wild, artistic shit. You know what I'm saying? And, like, I know for me, like, as someone who's like been playing games for the past 20 or 30 years or whatever, like I don't know, I want to see something that sparks my imagination a little bit, you know, gets me thinking a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, like I feel like Microsoft is focused on the casual gamers, you know,
that's what they are.
You know what I'm saying? You know, the gamers who like only play Call of Duty, you know what I'm saying?
Their entertainment,
and that's it, you know, and it's like that's cool. But if you really trying to be on Sony's level, like you got to go beyond that. You know what I'm saying? You got to go beyond that. So I'll say this much. Okay, so like from the PlayStation press conference, what was like the game that really had you like cream your pants the most?
Visually, visually, hands down, it had to be Death Stranding.
Wow.
Visually.
It ain't shit happening that shit.
But look, that's crazy to say.
Right.
That's crazy to say. Nothing was happening but him walking.
Right.
But if you look at that shit,
from a visual standpoint,
my God.
Right.
How did we both have the same thing to
Right.
say right there?
My God.
That lets
My
you
God.
know, like, Jesus.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, visually, it was Death Stranding. Like,
yeah.
and as far as what I'm looking forward to, that Call of Duty was on point. Again, looking forward to Death Stranding. I think the surprise for me was Control.
That was like the dark horse that
none of
came
them
out
knew
of
what the
nowhere.
fuck that was.
Right.
Like, is it Inception? Is it?
Right.
We had so many different genre bending
Right.
shits just because they were showing shit doing shit.
And they was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Control.
Right.
You know that nerd show, and then all I thought about in my head was Control. Like, oh, Janet Jackson.
Also, I think when Antonio first saw it, I think he was like, "This is Resident Evil 2" initially.
Yeah.
And you saw her fucking gun
Oh, I forgot.
breaking up
about
in all these different polygons.
And that shit had me.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
I swear though, like, low.
But I peeped when that Resident Evil trailer came on. I was like, this shit look like some Resident Evil type shit.
That
Yeah.
Resident
And I smelled that shit in the air, and that shit started slowly. And
What I would say, what Eric caught that I thought was so wild, but still so dope, was the PlayStation 1.
It was something about
Like,
the
right
ridges
there.
on
And I
the
was like,
side of
what?
it. I'm like, that look like a fucking PlayStation.
That's
And
wild.
sure enough, it was a
That's
fucking
Capcom letting you know though who they really fuck with.
Yeah.
Because it definitely wasn't no motherfucking Xbox.
right.
That's it.
They're like, listen.
And then when they showed fucking Leon Kennedy, I was like,
Like,
nigga, I've been waiting for a whole
Leon
lot.
Kennedy, because you know Leon Kennedy, Resident Evil 4 and shit. You know,
Yeah, he's aged. He's gristled.
did a little bit of
wait.
meth. You know what I'm saying? This is some shit.
He
You know, this fresh twink version. Of
Yeah,
Leon Kennedy
when,
and shit.
like first day on.
Right.
So remember the thing was in Resident Evil 2, that was his first day on the job.
Right, it
If
was.
I was Microsoft, I would be petty. Y'all gotta fix that for my part. I can't. What?
You know, lady sitting up there like,
I
well.
need my big dumbass green X on this motherfucker.
Right, that's the thing though. Like Resident Evil 2 was a
Was
PlayStation
on the
1 exclusive
PlayStation. Yeah,
initially.
exactly.
You can't deny that shit. That's where it started.
So low key,
And that's how
because of
they
that,
shut
that
down.
may be a PlayStation 4 exclusive because of that. Because you gotta remember that.
That might be.
I agree with you like that. Meow meow.
Because Capcom want that money.
If you notice, Microsoft didn't show it.
They didn't.
But they had their own Capcom.
But I mean, they showed Devil May Cry, right? So and I was going to Devil May Cry
platform. Capcom game?
No, but they
out of Devil May Cry and Resident Evil, which one do you?
That's a hard one. Devil May Cry has a very big.
I know.
Not to mention, this is not like the sequel to the one that came out a few years ago. This is the continuation
Straight
from
up,
4, which came out 10 years ago. So
right, yeah.
So that's big.
I mean, I know Capcom likes the money, because Capcom hasn't dropped a motherfucking exclusive on one platform.
So that
Capcom want all the money.
More likely is that
that's on Xbox. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. I know damn near Street Fighter's on everything.
Oh yeah.
Now. I remember when 5 first came out, it was a time exclusive.
Oh, was it? That's true. That's true.
So that's why I said it was exclusive for a minute. For like a good couple months. Then we'll release it on
I got that time motherfucker where it's
I
like,
think PlayStation need to get a exclusive fighting game. Like Street on the level of Street Fighter.
I mean, they got
they don't really.
Is Gears on Xbox?
Oh no, I mean all the Arc System Works is on there. Yeah. They have this. It's something called Fighting Layer. I don't know if you've seen any trailers for that, but it's a fighting game. It's from the people who did Street Fighter EX.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember.
I remember.
You remember Street Fighter
all
EX?
rival schools.
Yeah, the ones they don't.
It was Tekken.
Yeah.
I liked it. I know everybody else didn't, but
Capcom don't recognize that shit no more.
No, they don't.
No, that's the illegitimate.
Like the Street Fighter, the movie game.
Right.
I was drunk that night.
I made a lot of mistakes.
Who the hell came up with Skullomania?
I don't even know where the fuck Skullomania came from. Skullomania like some shit from IML. That's some IML shit. Skullomania, like the name itself. Anyway.
Okay, my picks for
go ahead.
PlayStation games was of course Ghost. I think visually is a tie with Death Stranding and Ghost of Tennessee.
You didn't want to do it, but you did it.
I might as well accept it.
Yeah.
For hood games, it's Tennessee.
But that shit, like, especially when they got to the last little part when they was fighting in all the
sunset.
That shit was just dope as shit.
Yeah.
So, of course, my surprise shit was Control. Hands down, and Resident Evil 2. Which
I know, like, low key though.
If
Stanley Kubrick was still alive, you saw that trailer for Control.
He like, that's a movie. That's
my movie.
I'm making that movie soon. But yeah, inspired. Every fucking thing. I can't even fucking.
That ain't no bullshit. That whole conference was on point.
Like Spider-Man had me sitting there like.
I will say it was kind of weird though, and I mean it's whatever because they made up for it. But when they showed The Last of Us 2 and they had old boy on the banjo and shit,
but that's like I said once again, that's the actual composer. So
I get that wasn't really what fucked me up. They showed it and then they did that round table break.
Not questioning, but like how do you have that useless knowledge know that guy, that white guy, was the composer?
That's not a white dude.
Oh, it wasn't? No. I thought that was the joke.
No, that's the Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Dude that was playing the flute?
Yeah.
The flute, yeah.
The dude that was playing the banjo, he composed movies too.
Banjo.
That was from
he composed like
I thought you were talking about the flute.
You gotta remember when we first started, it was very Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, he
very
all that shit.
We about to do some cult ritual shit up in here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know where the fuck that was at, because that was in a whole separate space than where they had the main conference at. And
right.
Shit. All those motherfuckers died who was there.
Yeah, that was the last of us. That was the last of us.
But yeah. So you said Control was a surprise.
Yeah, Control, like,
Tennessee
I need more.
Yeah.
Control. Now, cause like.
But what gave you the biggest orgasm though?
Yeah, it was Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 was definitely my. Oh my God, bitch! I just came.
I mean,
7 times.
You know what that was like? That was like me going to a concert. And whoever it is opening up with the big hit that they have now. You know, people used to save the big hit for the last.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you get to the concert to where they got a good catalog and then they open up with the big hit. Mm-hmm. That's what this conference was like. You know what I'm saying? That Resident Evil right off the bat, it was like, oh yeah, we ain't about to play with it. We know Microsoft shit was whack as fuck, so we know we just about to bury their ass.
Yeah. Cause like I said, I mean, it was so wild how Sony handled that shit. Like once they did the Last of Us thing, they did a little, round table thing, and then they came back. They're like, okay, now we about to like just hit you with it. Back,
we kicking doors.
The back.
Every trailer. What the fuck you want, Microsoft?
Right. Like you on the bed and shit. Like, oh, wait.
Don't tell them something. That is exactly how they were. That's how Sony was. But the PlayStation logo grew hands.
Right.
And started doing that shit. Yeah.
Right.
Come at me, bitch.
Cole, you got any? What was your highlight?
Pretty much the consistent choices, but I guess my top was Spider-Man.
Yeah. So funny.
I'm a fanboy for life. So.
Anyway, you just like,
even though you were talking mad shit at first. What physics?
Despite the physics issues and all the other shit that just should not be happening in the screen, like swinging across New York with like things being so fucking far apart.
Oh my god!
The gameplay looks sweet as fuck. I mean, the
never mind
designs,
the fact that he's a superhuman
spider person
with mutant power having.
Yes,
physics still count.
Still technology grounded in
technology is no longer effective when you talk about superhuman powers.
What? Okay.
Cole will literally.
Yeah, he gonna try to find a way to
decipher
this shit.
I must do this
just
to get a little more technical than you. If you want to bring technicalities into the whole Marvel world, then you tear down the whole thing.
No, you have
Magneto.
You have some suspension of disbelief on some things, but he was just good. He was kind of wilding out. I'm just saying.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, on that game, he was wilding out a little bit. Just a little
I
bit.
mean,
but the whole thing is
dope as fuck.
Cause I want to say they announced the Spider-Man Insomnia game. I want to say it was like E3
2016
or the year before last. So you didn't see none of the previous trailers.
Yeah, this shit been there.
You saw this.
I've always seen like the promos in the comics and shit.
Right.
I've seen the design. I was like, that design is kind of.
This I will say this though. This was definitely like the best trailer for that game so far.
And that's saying a lot because I like the chase.
What?
I'm talking to Chris Grafton right now.
Oh.
when you see this, I'm gonna need that Yeti mic for Cole because it's barely picking.
So wait, hold up. So you got the Yeti there, and the rest of these are these all the same? The newers?
This is Sasquatch.
This is the mic I've always used for my music.
Right.
Recording. These two mics are just mics that I got off Amazon that came with the arm.
Got you.
Like I got one more arm or whatever, then I bought a 3-pack of arms.
Right. And then you got the big boy.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you using my rap microphone, so what you talking about?
That shit. I just sat down, shit. I'm gonna sit down next time. I'm using
the one that doesn't use the fancy microphone.
Who, me?
No, him.
Exactly, bitch.
He lobs
My
in the
voice.
damn room. We don't need the microphone.
Yeah, I am going to switch that because, and then again, the chord played a factor too.
Yeah,
because I didn't know this chord was 2.5 feet long.
Oh shit.
That shit.
Hey, I'm not complaining. Hey, free 99, and I'm not complaining. So hey, but
I would definitely say like my highlight. I just need low key though. I need Antonio to just I don't know, man. Like I just want Antonio and Kojima
to collaborate on some shit.
To collaborate on something, cause it'd be some wild shit.
Gibberish as fuck. That's the name of the game.
But Kojima, cause that's the thing y'all got to think.
Kojima, they both got ADD.
And Kojima is that motherfucker. Like I don't know how familiar you are with Kojima, but I know me and Antonio been watching this mother for the longest, and he just loves doing wild shit. Like I can see Kojima coming right up in here,
and doing this podcast
he like pass
in
the block.
Japanese, right? Because the bitch can't speak English.
The
whole time
legs crossed with a microphone.
Hey,
I think it was Metal Gear Solid 5 and shit. He dropped the trailer, and at the end of the trailer, he did some shit. He did it was the English and shit.
Yeah, the English.
He was like, he's like, you like?
Yeah.
The funny thing about that is, I've been following Metal Gear like for the longest.
Yeah.
But I didn't know about him.
Oh,
I haven't really followed him.
Yeah, he got
the harder
games.
So it's like,
when he left Konami, that was that bullshit, that zombie Metal Gear game they dropped that nobody gave a fuck.
And that's why now I'm like, I know he like on some pin, like, y'all
yeah.
gonna take my game and attach this
yeah.
bullshit
Oh,
to
yeah.
the legacy. Oh,
Dog,
okay.
you thought you were playing that nigga put fuck Konami on Twitter.
Yeah, he did. Oh yeah. Oh, he was wilding. He was because Konami.
Cause you gotta remember Konami.
They did so
they
bold
did
on a lot of levels.
Right now,
They did him so dirty.
Listen, Kojima is like the Joe Budden of Japan.
Low key, this is one of the ways Konami. You know the video game awards came out.
Yeah.
This nigga was up for like best game and shit. They barred him from coming to the game awards.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah,
but I
they
didn't
were
know.
gonna
Kojima.
Yes, Konami.
But yeah, they did that. They was paid as fuck for that shit. And
Man,
like,
I would say like the biggest slap in the face. I mean, on top of Metal Gear, because the thing about it is Kojima.
I wasn't bullshitting. I was going to go follow him right now.
But like Kojima, honestly, like as much as he loved the Metal Gear Solid franchise, he's been wanting to do something different for the longest, and that's why he did. He dropped that Silent Hills demo. Like he was really passionate and excited about that shit.
And he
got Guillermo, Del Toro on there and shit.
Yeah.
Like he was really because you got to think about it. Kojima's been doing Metal Gear Solid since like the late 80s. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I've been following.
So
That's how far back it goes. I had the Metal Gear Zoom.
Yeah, I remember on the NES. I remember that shit. That's all I remember.
Yeah, they was on the NES.
Yeah.
The first one, Metal Gear Solid, that was the first one on PlayStation.
Yeah. But yeah, so he been trying to get out of that shit, and then like Konami was just like, nah, we own you basically.
Yeah, and then you gonna keep making Metal Gear games.
You gonna keep making Metal Gear games and shit.
But you know what? I'm glad he kept his heart in it.
Yeah.
Even though they tried, he kept his heart in it, and the franchise progressed to what it was.
Oh yeah.
Cause that's his baby. In the long run, it don't matter. That's
Cause some people have been like, oh, for real? Y'all
half-hearted.
Oh,
right.
I'm gonna just put out some.
Cause even with the last one, it wasn't half-hearted.
I never finished the last Metal Gear Solid 5. Like I told, someone Cole, like, if you want to catch up, they have like these, almost kind of like compilation films.
Oh, yeah, and they don't be shipping like $30.
Yeah, whatever. And I picked up, I didn't pick up shit. I was watching it on YouTube. And I was watching Metal Gear Solid 5. I never finished Metal Gear Solid 5. I got it, but shit.
Do you realize how deep the story of Metal Gear 5 went?
Man. I like I said, I woke up though, because I honestly do play this shit to put myself to sleep. Like I had this shit going on in the background, so I woke up like 3 in the morning. I mean, hopefully I ain't spoiling this for nobody. But it's a scene. Spoiler.
Hey, I told you 2 weeks, and then we fucked.
That game been out.
Oh yeah, that game been out for years now.
So
There was a scene in Metal Gear Solid 5 where I guess his team, his crew or whatever, they all become like I guess infected, and he has to basically go in there and kill them or whatever.
Yeah, about the language shit.
The language shit, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm literally like it's 3:30 in the morning and shit. You know what I'm saying? When you wake up in the middle of the morning, gotta go piss, but you kind of woke, but not. You know what I'm saying? You like, yeah. So I'm waking up and shit, and I'm looking at my screen or whatever. I got this big ass 55-inch screen TV sitting in front of me and shit. I'm looking at it, and like this whole segment of the game, like you playing this shit, and you gotta like kill your crew. And it's one part of the scene where like they're like, hey, whatever, like, hey, kill us with honor. You know what I'm saying? They say basically like, we'll do whatever you tell us to do. You know what I'm saying? And whoever was playing this scene, like, he literally pulled out some kind of automatic weapon and he started just like Gatling gunning these bitches and shit. You know what I'm saying? But they're all sitting there like saluting him, like, they're like, yes, General, we believe you and shit. And I'm just sitting there at 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's some shit to wake up to.
That's the shit to wake up to. Because how Kojima handles shit like that, it's definitely not like a black and white type of thing. Like there's always like this very kind of like subliminal, blurred, kind of like gray area to everything. You know what I'm saying? Because some fucked up shit. Like these the motherfuckers who've been following you, have dedicated their life to you and shit. But now you basically got to kill them. You know what I'm saying? And they're like they looking at you in the eyes and shit.
Deep.
You know what I'm saying? It's wild shit. That's the type of shit that Kojima's about, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's always about, like, twisting your mind and making you think outside the box. And,
the ultimate mind fucker. We should have knew this with the first Metal Gear with the whole memory card shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hey, and that
how That
what?
shit was.
Oh my god! I have to plug the controller into the second port. Oh my god! Oh,
It ain't gonna work.
It reads my
It don't do
memory.
it.
Oh my
thing
god!
was, I thought my sister was broke, and at the time I was in middle school, no money on my own. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, my PlayStation 1 broke. I'm fucked. I ain't getting another one. Like, what the fuck? You know, I could even afford to buy Metal Gear Solid 1 at the time. I got that shit from Blockbuster, a rental.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what? When back in that day when I was young, and like I said, I was fortunate enough. I used to get lunch money
Okay.
at school.
Yeah.
I kind of hated lunch at school, so I would save the
You know,
lunch
like
money.
those fucking cold ass pizzas and
I
shit.
hated them.
I love them.
Oh,
Square ass pieces you
the
used to
only
get.
thing I
In a
really,
juice box.
the only thing I really loved from school was the fucking tater tots. That's it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Since birth, I'm telling you, my grandma, God rest her soul, she ruined me.
Yeah.
I used to be coming home from elementary school smelling fucking potatoes coming down the street.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, when I get home, it's on.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? I've just been, anyway, I got completely off the last name. Damn, what the fuck was I talking about?
You was talking about you was fortunate enough that you got lunch money.
Oh, yeah. I was fortunate enough so I was saving the lunch money. And I was fortunate enough to come across this bike shop. And that's what it was called, the bike shop over on...
I was about to say Livernois, right?
Livernois.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, Livernois.
What was that one? All right.
And they used to sell video games and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about this.
Dude, let me tell you, because of that bike shop, I stayed up on my video game shit without the help of my mama.
Yeah.
Because as far as she was concerned, I wanted a Nintendo. Okay, you won't get a Nintendo until the PlayStation come out, and the Nintendo is like $30, $40.
Discount, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so after that, it was like, I got to do this shit on my own. And that was my outlet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he was like, all right, it was like the first, it was my Funko Land before Funko.
Right.
I'm telling my age.
I was around
even know
Funko Land.
Funko
Damn.
Funko Land, Babbage's, and Electronic Boutique.
Yes.
Those are the ones I remember.
I'm not from here,
GameStop
so.
before.
But yeah, before
All I remember is FYI.
Yeah.
Fuck
FYI was like the
Games.
only EB Games was a subsidiary of Electronic Boutique and
Yeah.
because remember sometimes you would go to the store buy something and all of them would be on the bag.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they were kind of in, I don't know how, but they was in the bed with each other somehow.
Right.
Pause.
Shit.
It was all fucking. All of them
But
fucking.
yeah, that was my outlet to stay up to date. Like, and then I don't know if it's still. I need to Google and see if it's still up. It was this site called Game Cave, and that's how I got access to the first Grand Theft Auto and like the first Dragon Ball Z game, like Japan.
Oh yeah. Okay, now that's the thing. You don't know.
Yeah.
Because it used to be, because the thing about it is, like, it's so wild, because now we're going into, like, real crazy, like, gaming nostalgia and shit. But, you know, like, for me, again, you know, trying to ball on the budget when I had no budget, you know what I'm saying, on my parents' budget and shit, I remember going and getting, like, you know, the game magazines, like Electronic Game Monthly,
I remember that.
Game Fan, Game Pro.
Yeah.
And in the back of those magazines, they will always show, like, they had, like, their little import retailer and shit. Yeah. Where they have all these wild little Japanese import games. Like, you know, they had a Dragon Ball Z, the Sailor Moon shit. Never came into sense. I remember I used to look at that shit. And I don't know how, you know what? This is so wild. Like, so this is about to go on some really, like, random-ass shit. So, for instance, I was one of those kids where, like, I would, like, bullshit and procrastinate to the last minute when it came to doing, like, school projects, science projects and shit. And, you know, my mom and my dad were both school teachers and shit. So they weren't here for that shit.
Today.
What? Yeah,
I did mine, like, I want to play. So I was doing my shit that night, like, when they assigned it. I was weird like that.
I wanted to play too much.
They were like, oh, the project due on Monday when you come back to school. Friday, as soon as I got home, that was the first thing I did.
I would always say, I got 2-3 weeks to do it. Okay, I'm going to play up until such and then I'm going to rush to do it.
And then plus Trisha ain't even play that shit. As soon as I was, you got a project. Stop.
What
don't do that shit.
What my mom would do is that she would, she would just, like, basically, like, verbally and physically dragged the fuck out of me. She's like, I told y'all I'm gonna have to get this shit done. Da, 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 da. But then, you know, she would take me to like a 24-hour Kinko's, and she was like, what we gonna do is that you're gonna come up in this Kinko's, and we're gonna work on this project, and you're gonna have this shit ready.
Because I can't have my baby
looking wild, you know what I'm saying? You know,
I'm gonna give you this lecture,
right?
But we gonna fix it.
Yeah, so I used to always be at the Kinko's and shit because I was always a last minute.
He did say physically too.
Yeah, like verbally and physically.
See, he got it verbally and physically. I just got physical. Like, fat, do the work.
That's what you did just you do.
You're gonna learn to do it.
You're gonna learn to do that. But the thing about it is that I remember one day I was up in the Kinko's. It was a whole bunch of like, you know, I guess it was like high school students. I was like in elementary, middle school. So it was like some high school students, college students, or whatever. And they were doing their own little indie comic. They was in there like, there was a group of them. They were like drawing out their own little comic and shit. So, you know, me being a kid, I'm like, I want to be a part of this shit or whatever. And anyway, I kind of like nervously went over there. I was just talking to them. They were like some big anime geeks and shit. This is like the 90s and shit. You know what I'm saying? So this is before the internet and shit. You know what I'm saying? So there was some anime geeks and shit. And I remember they had like one of the, you know, Game Pro magazines. And they had like some Japanese games. And they were just talking about them or whatever. And I was like, oh, like, you know, like I was like real young too. I'm like, oh, you play games too? I play games. You know, these. Anyway, but they were like
no black.
Right.
Game.
Right. But they were like, yeah, they was like, hey, like if you really want to kind of check out like some of these import games, like they got a couple of stores like here in the city, and they told me about 2 stores. One was called Play Source. It was on Madison Heights, and there was another one called GameStop, not the GameStop.
Yeah, not affiliated.
But another GameStop was out in Garden City. Yeah. So I never forget, man. My birthday came around. I just told my mom, like, all I want to do is go to one of these little import stores, you know, just get whatever.
I'm so lame because when you said it, I thought about all I want to do is nigga zoom. I can see me saying that to my mama. All I want to do is nigga zoom. Fat. Shut the hell up. Go to your room.
Back in the day, like that was when you had to. When you stumbled upon shit like
yeah, it was like a treasure and shit.
Oh my god.
The greatest thing.
You see, like to this day, I cherish that motherfucking bike shop. Like, that was like, nah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I am happy that we have everything at access of our
click of a budget.
But it was just something about back then. Like, it was just, you really had to research and execute to be who you wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you wanted to be a gamer or whatever, like, and back then I didn't even know that was like, I just like video games.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But now I realize, like, I was living this shit, like, ever since back then.
Yeah.
You know
it was some wild shit, though. I remember, like, because, like, if you wanted to play Japanese games on your PlayStation, there was a trick where you could put literally, like, a paper clip. Or, well, no, it was like, no. You put a paper clip.
Prop the damn thing up.
Yeah, prop it over a paper clip. It'll bypass. Yeah, that's like.
I can't remember.
It had a little hatch.
But it was some kind
it was like a little hatch on the back system. I swear to you.
You
can rig it. You can rig it. And I remember I went to the little store and the first game I got was, I don't know if y'all remember Tobo N01, Tobo N02. It was actually a game that was designed by Akira Toriyama, Dragon Ball. Yeah, it was
I know what you're talking about.
It was a fighting game. I got that shit. Shit was all in Japanese. Couldn't figure out what the fuck to do. It had like an RPG element to it where you go through a dungeon, you collect, like you could literally unlock like over 100 characters on that game by going through this dungeon. But you had to be able to read Japanese. So I was just playing that shit, just guessing through shit. But it was like you said again, it was just the whole experience of finding something new and foreign and nobody else had and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Don't feel bad with that shit because growing up, my cousin was in the military and he was in Japan. Motherfuckers used to bring home tapes with anime and shit, but all them shits was in Japanese.
No subtitles.
No subtitles, so we used to watch them shits and make up our own.
That's how you do that shit. I tell you,
like Dragon Ball Z, the Gaiva.
Yeah. Oh my god, the Gaiva though.
What else? Fucking, that was when I seen Akira for the first time. Fucking Ninja Scroll.
Yeah. Man, I got it. It used to be another place in Greektown called
Time. No, Cell came to the movies. I remember that.
It was a place in Greektown called Time Travelers. They used to sell like import shit, not so much games.
Time Travelers, Comics Oasis.
Comic Oasis, yes. But no, they had a VHS bootleg of the Cell Saga, or one episode for the Cell Saga of Dragon Ball Z, and it was so bootleg they had like the Japanese commercials still intact. And I remember watching that shit for the first time because, like, I think I talked about this with y'all. Like, the syndicated version of Dragon Ball 4 and with Tsunami will always end right before Goku goes Super Saiyan in the Frieza saga. Like, we would never see him actually go Super Saiyan. Even though they showed him Super Saiyan in the intro.
They never showed
we
it.
never showed it in syndicated.
I think I was in either, like, in middle school when they finally brought the Saiyan saga, like, the complete Saiyan saga.
Right.
Because for years they'll get to like when they own Namek, and I think they first started finding the Dragon Ball, and then start all the way over.
Start all the way from the beginning. Y'all like, fuck that shit. So I saw they had a bootleg of the Cell Saga and shit. Didn't know shit about that shit. I remember seeing the episode was when Magi Vegeta sacrificed himself. Yeah. And I was just sitting. I'm like, why does Vegeta got an M on his head? Why is he sacrificing himself for everybody on Earth? Like, what the fuck is going on? I was so confused. Like, I thought this nigga was a bad guy. What? It was Boo, the Boo saga. Yeah, Magi Vegeta, the Boo saga. But anyway, all that shit. We went so far off topic.
What time is it?
It's 11. Oh my god, it's about midnight.
11?
11:43.
Right. But in short, I mean, I guess Eric
to wrap up.
Right.
It was a good conference, a great conference.
Amazing.
They barely even talked.
They really
That's one thing about Microsoft. They forever had somebody come out talking about
it. Demonstration.
Don't get me started on that shit.
They had straight content the whole time. Damn, I just realized
Rebecca.
Yeah, this Rebecca from the South Side.
They took
they was trying to like brainwash us into like liking it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like any of this shit.
Right.
But all right.
I'm saying now you can race in the rain on Forza.
That's exactly what it was.
He said, no, now it goes from winter time to spring.
Yes.
And you can race, and you can reach unobtainable areas.
Yes,
now.
it was.
Like, what the fuck was unattainable? What the fuck? What?
And
but the funny thing.
What?
I was just waiting for the Spy Hunter music to play.
Man.
Oh,
that would be a
new Spy Hunter game would be.
Wow.
Waiting for like decades.
Yeah, that would.
Spy Hunter used to be the shit.
That was my
also, like Chris said, I would love to sit under Bushido Blade.
I mean, come on, that's Square Enix, right?
Yeah,
that's Square Enix.
And to see
you just saw it.
Because you gotta remember, I don't know if y'all remember Bushido Blade.
I do.
That was Bushido Blade.
That was fought around and get one good hit.
One hit. That was all it was, man. Oh, Bushido Blade was so. Cause you be up there playing that shit with your homies and shit. You like, nigga, you ain't gonna get me, man.
Me and my brothers run around the map the whole time. Run around so long, the shit started
fucking trip and fall and shit. Yeah. Sometimes you would hit a motherfucker, they went and died, that one hit, they'll fall on the ground. Yeah. And you start rolling and shit.
Yeah, they get a fight with one arm.
I couldn't really get into Bushido Blade.
Bushido Blade was that.
I couldn't find nobody to play with me.
Oh, yeah.
And like back then, it was like me and my friend, like we would play fighting games like a motherfucker.
Right.
And it was surprising to me that nobody wanted to play.
Because that shit was too real.
It was too real.
Bushido Blade, you can literally get hit one time, match over.
That was some real hood shit. That's what Bushido Blade was. Cause you know, fighting, you got the energy gauge and shit. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever.
Now, you didn't have a power bar.
Nothing.
All you see was them two motherfuckers.
Bushido Blade 2, they did have a motherfucker who had a gun though.
They did.
It would take forever to reload.
Yeah, he had the
You do
blunderbuss.
Red.
Oh, you had to put the
and then you hear literally sitting there and do that shit.
That's fair.
You sitting there looking at him like, if you miss that first shot, it's on your ass.
Oh shit, that shit was so raw. That was so.
I said that shit. Me and my brother used to watch martial arts movies all the time. So.
Yeah.
The shit we used to make that shit like run around like. Run around, wouldn't even hit each other. They'd be running around. They were fun to run up on each other. You know, you can hit each other.
Because you could climb up to like other levels and shit too. Like it would be like
you know what I'm saying. You run around so long and start loading.
Yeah.
Be on the next loading screen. Both of y'all still running around.
But she'll play it so loud, man. That made me want to play that shit now, man. Seriously. You know.
You remember the introduction of CD games on this?
Oh yeah.
And the loading times.
The worst.
I got you. I remember the cassette tape
on
games.
this.
Not that.
What?
Yes.
I remember playing Oregon Trails on the Laserdisc.
I remember the floppy disk on the Apple II.
Whoa. Cassette tape?
Nigga, like an 8-track joint?
Sorry, I'm a straight up retro gamer.
What was on
Okay, on what system?
Like
What?
64?
Pioneer.
What?
Commodore. I had. You mean games that look like a cassette?
Yes.
I thought you meant that like
Actual
actual
cassette
cassette tape.
God, no.
Atari, Commodore 64. I had one that I can't even remember the fucking name.
Ooh,
of.
I'm not that old.
No, you're not. But yeah, I'm like on the borderline, but I'm on the side
bitch,
to be
right
able
there.
to
I'm sorry to
remember.
flip your wig over there.
I was born when the Master System came out.
Let me
Sega
tell you.
Master System
No,
came out.
that was my
like
second
20
system.
years
That was my third system.
Just see that little green.
Well, look, let me tell you. I went to go visit my father for the summer.
Yeah.
Right before it was time to come home, my mother called me. She was like, "I got a surprise for you." And I'm like, "What is it?" She was like, "I ain't gonna tell you, but I'll give you a hint. It's something you can play Space Invaders on." I'm like, play Space Invaders on? First of all, what the fuck is Space Invaders? No, I'm sorry. She said Star Wars.
Oh.
Something you can play Star Wars.
Oh my God, I love Star Wars.
And it went completely over my. I didn't know the whole time. It was burning me the fuck up. What the fuck is it? What the fuck she got? I get home and it was a fucking Atari. Which one?
64? No, 26.
The Jaguar?
No, the 26 was the second
Oh
one.
my God, not Jaguar.
The Atari Jaguar?
It was
shit
look
lasts
the
for 15
controller.
minutes.
The
15
controller.
minutes.
It was about the size of my hand, and at the top was like a little pad like this, and then at the bottom was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like a phone.
What was that?
Coleco.
I had the
ColecoVision.
ColecoVision.
I got that from my
ColecoVision. Then I got the Atari 26.
Okay.
Then I got the Sega Master
That
System.
bitch was the shit.
Yeah,
so.
like yeah.
My first system was the Sega, and then we got a 32X shortly.
You played your stuff on that one, but
I played myself on like really like you just
Hey, the only
put the
thing we
CD.
had was Star Wars Arcade on it. That's the only thing that kept me.
I had Doom 32X. Although I played the shit out of it, it was like, what the fuck was the reason for buying this attachment?
Mousetrap, Centipede.
Jesus Christ.
Shit. I can't remember.
Minesweeper.
No, that came much later.
Hearts.
Alright. Solitaire.
Solitaire.
I used to be in class playing Minesweeper like a motherfucker.
So I guess we could jump into one last thing, and I guess we could sign off
Yeah,
and
we
shit.
can wrap it up.
So the next big conference is tomorrow's the Nintendo. I think they're not even doing like a.
Yeah, they're just doing a
live or-
pre-recorded shit.
a pre-recorded thing. But still, Nintendo still has,
Cardboard.
Pokemons.
their cardboard and Pokemon.
And
Well, you know what that sound like to me? That sound like abandoned puppies and shit.
yeah, it is.
You put your
What were
Pokemon
they
in the
thinking?
box and leave them out in the alley, and hopefully somebody takes them. That's terrible, but that's
What were
what
they
it sounds like.
thinking with that cardboard?
White
shit?
people.
I don't even. Okay, you say that, but you gotta go deeper. Like, why?
Caucasian
White people buy cardboard? Like, what? I don't
Yeah.
I saw like
I
actually,
can literally see a little white kid in the store walking around. Mommy, I want this. It got cardboard. Okay, Johnny, hold on just a second.
right.
How much that cost?
I mean, truth be told, if I'm in the store with my daughter and she be like, "Daddy, I want this," I mean, she look at me a certain way. I'm probably buying for
Shit,
it.
me. My child look at me like, I want cardboard.
But here's the
You
thing.
sit your dumb ass
Look,
down.
wait. All this cardboard.
Get your goddamn
I got you. I got wait till we get home.
And here's
I
the thing
got
that's
you.
so wild about it is that like, okay, you get this shit, you actually have to take out a significant amount of time
And build
to
this
build
shit.
this shit into something usable. It's not like you just get a shit and you start playing. Like,
But just like Chris say, who's to stop anybody from making their own little cardboard cutouts and doing
Doing
like
their own
Exactly.
what is it about this cardboard that when you attach it to
Nothing.
your system or your controller that it makes it interactive with your
Nothing.
experience?
Nintendo.
Nothing.
Only that
The cardboard got Nintendo on it? Because I can go to Home Depot and just get a shit ton of cardboard. boxes.
Man, Nintendo,
You know what
don't
though?
get the fuck
That's
out
what
of here.
I'm gonna start doing, man. I'm gonna buy a whole, but I'm gonna get like a bunch of cardboard boxes and shit from where the fuck from Home Depot.
And go to a white neighborhood.
yes, and be like, listen, Labo, Nintendo Labo.
Boom.
Listen, that's all you gotta
But
do.
it ain't Labo, it's Fabo. Fabo.
No, call that shit like boo.
Like boo.
They still had the old name with the accent mark.
It's French. Le boo.
But real talk, okay, so like, I mean, I think it's already been kind of like confirmed that like they're gonna show a new Smash, or they're gonna reveal what this whole Smash game they've been teasing is all about. That's one. They got they kind of revealed this Pokemon for the Switch. It's not an official Pokemon game, but it's like it's Pokemon Go, but you play it on Switch. Yeah, exactly.
That Pokemon game they had on the phone would have been the shit if it had another aspect to it.
I was wild on that.
That shit was working. Nigga, I worked out that shit. I walked around for about 4 miles.
For like a month or two.
Trying to find
and after that, I was
Oh,
tired of it.
Yeah.
For like a month or two, and after that,
Man, that was the gangster shit. It was so crazy because I remember like
and then people
not
started
put
killing
myself
themselves.
Not robbing niggas.
That's what was happening because I put myself on blast. But like with my job, I do a lot of commuting around and shit. Now I should not say this because this is being recorded live. So we're right.
Who will edit this out?
I got some editing to do in the minute.
But at the end of the day, I mean, real talk. Now, you're not job related at all. But like, I was sometimes driving because with Pokemon Go, like. How was it? Like, to sometimes find certain Pokemon, you had to be in certain locations, certain areas, or whatever.
It would
be rated. And it would be so wild. Like, I would go in certain areas, and it'd be like a gym, and you just see, like, motherfuckers from the hood and shit, like, all of
that was the good thing about it.
Right.
That was the good thing about it because people would literally see people just glued to their phone.
Yeah.
And we was at Umicon.
Yeah.
And we was literally just sitting at the table, and we didn't realize it, but we all was sitting there looking at our phone for a minute because we was eating, chilling, taking a break.
Right.
And then some random dude just came over and sat down. Mind you, it was me, Chris, Cameron, Lil Brandon, like not really a group that you just want to, hey, how you doing? Just attach yourself to.
I know Cameron looked like, hey.
I mean, when you put me and Chris in the mix, I mean,
that Easter Island head ain't gonna know.
But anyway, he just came and was super friendly, and at first we like, what the fuck? And then he saw our reaction, and then he was like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you guys were playing Pokemon. And like at that point, it really dawned on me like that it was so cool that you literally could meet people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just playing that shit, motherfuckers walking around.
Let me ask you a question: was he white?
He was something. He was definitely white, but he was something like Asian or whatever.
Chris was having that shit. Was Chris looking like?
At first it was literally like, what the entire fuck?
Yeah, I can see that on his face now.
And then we assessed his demeanor, like, oh, okay, we cool.
Yeah.
What's going on still? But all right. And he saw our reaction. He was like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you guys were playing. And then after a while, it was, it was all laughs.
Nah,
like, yeah, you was 10 seconds away from getting fucked
jumped up. Getting all the way fucked
up. But no, I thought that was one of the best things about that. You said what?
Was I the only Pokemon player in the group then?
I mean, like...
No, I played, but like only for like a month or two. And then after that, it got tight. That's why I said they needed some type of other aspect to it, like other than just...
Because it was...
That's the whole aspect of this Pokemon Go Live. It has that element plus the gaming elements of going to gyms and shit and all that kind of stuff.
Right. So I mean, I feel like Nintendo would do what Nintendo normally does,
and it's gonna still be good.
And it's going to be great to their audience,
right?
And to the people who appeal to a Nintendo.
Right.
Nintendo has always been the medium.
They stay in their lane and they do it well.
I look at it like this: like the hardcore gamers is PlayStation and Xbox, and Nintendo is in PC, right?
I can't fuck with this PC.
I just haven't dabbled. I wasn't trying to dabble into that.
They be wildin'.
My thing is, how the fuck do you play Call of Duty on the keyboard?
They play with a mouse.
They play with a mouse, right?
No, some of them be playing with a keyboard. Some of them be playing ASDF and the space bar.
You get used to it after a while.
Fuck you. That's what that shit means.
What killed me about like PC gamers and shit, because you talk about some motherfuckers. When I came here, I was talking about like all the new gear, the new setup and shit. Yeah. But with PC gamers, man, like it's always about like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? I got a new NVIDIA graphic card with like 4,000.
My dick,
right? You know what I'm saying? Got liquid cooling system.
But you know
yeah.
what, though?
8K, 9K.
Me being a tech geek, I understand.
Man.
Because that's just another level. Because I'm kind of the same way with my equipment, like especially like with the music shit. Oh, like people like with just gaming. Like Cameron hit me, hey, what's your setup? And like it was just on some random shit, but I knew what he was talking about.
Right.
Oh, I'm on. You know what I'm saying? I got the L guy.
No. Keep that shit down. We charging everybody that want to know what your setup is.
No, I wasn't about to divulge the whole
all
shit.
the details.
I'll do another video. You know what I'm saying? To where I'll do my setup.
Cash out me, bro.
Hey, no bullshit. Cash at me, please. My shit is in the negative. I need help getting up out there. I didn't know you could overdraw your cash app for gas. I found that out.
Really?
Yes, you can.
Didn't know that.
Yes, you can keep $1 in that motherfucker. If you need some gas, you can fill your tank.
Right.
But anyway, hey, this shit is called Hood Geek. That was a hood part of the shit.
I think they called that early.
Hey, yeah, oh well, yeah, you right. You about right. Anyway,
Detroit City, Detroit what? Detroit what?
Hey, there was a point in time where like you couldn't say Detroit without saying what after it. You know what I'm saying? Like when niggas was representing like Detroit what?
Detroit what? Detroit what? Bitch, you don't sit your soft ass down.
I do. I swear though, I did the time. Like I told you giving me with Detroit what shit? You giving me like true Cheddar Boys? I don't. You don't know who the fuck what a Cheddar Boy is. But
No,
that sounds like a
you
Cheddar
don't
Boy.
know. You don't know what a Cheddar Boy is.
That's probably goddamn y'all my film mob.
Yes,
Man.
Although,
Like when you hear T Grizzly and shit, I mean, and T Grizzly got a whole different
What you
flow.
about to say bad about film mob?
no, I wasn't about to say nothing about bad about Phil Bob, but I was about to indiscriminately down my Detroit heritage, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Cheddar Boys?
Yeah,
Cheddar Boys what?
No, it's just
That's it.
But no, the thing is about T Grizzly, he has that classic Detroit essence about him,
Man.
and it's bittersweet because being from Detroit, and this is kind of playing to what I was getting ready to say, but it gives me a chance to say it a little bit.
It's not.
I'm tired. I was tired of that Detroit essence because it didn't go nowhere for the longest.
Did they all got the same producer?
It seemed like it seemed like
Detroit.
it seemed like
on the west side. No, that nigga started Madison Heights.
it seemed like it. And like I say, not to try to down my Detroit heritage, especially for me being in
It's
hip
such
hop.
a catch-22. It's like we have our own style, but
We
it's
do,
like, I don't
but
want it.
Jesus.
No, but see, it's the thing. Like we've been here so long,
Right.
We've been accustomed to it
Man,
for so
Detroit
long.
summers, if you don't hear a typical Detroit Cheddar Boy beat somewhere,
Oh my God.
pull up to the gas station, 3 or 4 motherfuckers pull up to you.
And
Oh,
then,
boy.
I think I'm the only motherfucker in the world that moved to different regions
Oh.
and hate the music that come from. Because over in DC, I hated go-go.
Yeah.
I used to talk cap shit to motherfuckers. Just, fuck go-go music. And it was like, dude,
Man. Well, you can't say that to the motherfuckers about Detroit.
Shit.
That Detroit Cheddar Boys beat this shit.
I look at him like, man, like not knocking him because he decent, but that rapping off cadence shit fucks with me so much.
Yeah.
It seemed to like it always seemed like niggas from Detroit.
I'm like, please rap on beat.
will always try to put too many words.
Yeah. Somebody said.
do it.
Somebody said.
I was about to say, even the ones that made it and are crisp in their delivery,
Right.
Big Sean, Royce, Eminem, it seems like
No,
they still.
M and Royce sound. They
No, but Royce.
they may do it, but that shit don't sound shit like that.
You're right. But
They still be on beat and they put all them words in that beat.
But that's what I'm saying. They found a way to make that shit sound smooth,
Flow smooth,
and
yeah.
still put all them words in there.
I was
So
like,
Big
somebody
Sean,
was like,
so especially when he first came out, he was bad at it.
yeah.
Like
He
he'll go
chilled
off-
out about that shit because he got out there and he was like, wait a minute.
Like, wait, I need to get on beat a little bit. Like,
You know what? I'm glad I got on him later because we was in DC. When you had to put me up on him,
Yeah.
like, I'm surprised you not up on him because he's from Detroit. I'm like, all right, let me check him out. But it was a little after he
Yeah.
started his movement. So if I would have heard him a little earlier when he was off beat,
Right.
I would have rolled him
yeah,
off.
but that Marvin the Chardonnay.
Oh yeah, that was around the time I got on him.
Hold up.
That was my shit. I was bumping the hell out that
shit. And then the Chris Brown joint.
Ass.
But I saw somebody else like Tia Grizzly. His whole flow is that basically you don't use like periods and sentences and shit. It's like all run on sentences.
Yeah, all run on sentences, compound, all that.
You know what I'm saying?
The nigga sound like he from the West Coast, but that's one thing I always say. Certain niggas in Detroit sound like they from the West Coast.
I'm right, I'm getting it, these niggas in the business. Like, dude.
Like, literally, how,
floating in here.
Antonio broke it down, like, it's like, this motherfucker's, like, not rapping on beat. Like, I don't know what that is, but, like, go completely off beat and just start talking.
In fact, they be killing it.
Detroit, you know what it is? I'm going to take off my Detroit niggas. We hear a different beat.
Obviously,
I don't look.
Me being from the South, I'm used to all that trap
Me
beat.
as an MC, I don't know what beat them niggas do, but we hear a different beat.
The people like with no effort.
Yeah, all that with no effort.
So that's gonna be E3 2019. T Grizzly.
Ended with T Grizzly. Ended with no effort.
And I don't need no beat for this shit.
That's who L gonna run into on Last of Us 2. She gonna
T Grizzly. He gonna kill the set with no effort.
Troy Rogan.
Optional side quest.
He all you hear. You hear me coming from me. Oh my God, that's Detroit shit.
Your family heirlooms have come up missing.
Oh
Should
my
you decide
God.
to accept this quest, you'll find out who took them.
My God.
With no effort.
And then you got cash down. Okay, anyway, let's not end this shit.
Yeah, well, on that note, I want to say goodnight. All right, my sweet babies, y'all. Good night, man.
Sweet babies.
Say, live on whatever the name of this radio station is. HOOD.
My God.
HOOD.